Okay, let's okay, so Kat, first let's start with what were your major challenges before we started working together? So if you get back on like a year ago probably or so, what were your major challenges and why you decided to start with coaching?
Yeah, so obviously it's like been a while. We've been working together for a good chunk of time. I think obviously my main issue was when I had like a lot of back problems. So I had a lot of pain, kind of as part of my everyday life. I was in pain a lot, almost every day, almost all day. Um, so I think that's what originally kind of made me come and reach out to you, is that I wanted to try and reduce that pain or manage it in a different way. And I'd say that was like my biggest priority. But I think as we've worked together, I'm very fortunate that that pain has gone, which is amazing. Um, and obviously I'm strengthening my muscles and things. So my priorities, although that's like one of my core priorities, I actually am able now to focus on like wider
Mm,
fitness goals and wider priorities that to do with gaining strength, to do with kind of maybe like body recomposition,
mhm.
um, and just I don't know. I feel like there's part of my life where I couldn't do a lot of things, and now like through this process of working with you, now I can. So it's just exciting. It's like I'm redoing like a lot of things, redoing like this part of my life, which is quite cool.
That's a good way of saying it because it's yeah, at the end of the day it's not just training, right? It's not just going to the gym and doing the reps, but it's really more about changing your perspective, your mindset, your perception. But yeah, you already started, you already went a bit in this topic. Maybe you can share a bit what were the major changes that you notice and how did coaching help you overcome those challenges that you mentioned?
Yeah. So I'd say like the main changes through working with you is, or as we mentioned, kind of like becoming, no, being in less pain. And I know that for a lot of people, they might not be able to like relate to that, but
Mm,
it's so, has such a huge, amazing impact on my life,
mm,
and emotionally as well. Kind of, if you have like chronic pain, if anyone has chronic pain, like it's really emotional as well as physical. So it hurts a lot, but it really affects kind of your mental health and the way you view the world sometimes. And it kind of puts a lot of limits, or I put a lot of limits on myself because of it. And I was like, I just can't do these things. These are things that are just not for me. And I think with working with you, because you have like quite a holistic approach, I'd say, in terms of, you're not just here to be a physio or PT. Like, you talk about emotions and we talk about how things are connected and how your mind and body are connected. And for me, I would almost argue that's like more of the work that we've done without maybe realizing it, is I've like unlocked all of these like self-limiting beliefs and things that I used to be terrified of, aka going to the gym and working on myself. I am now able to prioritize that and to recognize that I've crossed a lot of boundaries, basically a lot of barriers, like with working with you, and I'm just doing things that I just never thought were possible. Like, I never thought, if you'd asked me a year and a half ago, would I have said like I'm consistently going to the gym, I'm working on nutrition, my mental health is better, and I feel confident in myself because of all of those things, and I feel confident trying new things and being more active, that would have been an alien concept.
mm,
So that to me is like, I don't know, amazing, amazing. I
mm.
love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice to hear, and I think especially when you see that those changes that you're making within the gym, within this journey, are not just changing, your body, but they're mainly changing the view of what's possible outside the gym, right? As you said, like if you
For
manage to
sure.
stay consistent with one thing, then it's more likely that you're also gonna stay consistent with I don't know, your job things or like other responsibilities. So it really teaches you and show you what's possible for you before you knew that that's possible.
100%. And kind of really helped me move out of like tough, like mental scenarios. I
Mm,
think I don't want to like dwell too much on it because it's a bit doom and gloom, but as I said, it really does impact your mental health and how you feel about yourself and how you feel, well, for me anyway, feel about life. And to have that kind of be now temporary or be fleeting rather than all day, every day, regular, normal
yeah.
is just so. I feel like I just approach. It sounds so cliche. I just approach life differently now.
No,
But
but
I do think that it's to do with like the consistency that we've had and your support that you've given 100%. And I think that's rare to find in a lot of PTs or a lot of coaches. It's rare to find that kind of whole life holistic approach that you have, which I think I really enjoy.
No, that's just what I want to ask you because that's the next question, and you already kind of answer it. Like, what's the best part, or what did you value the most regarding coaching? Any like particular system, any particular ways of how I was coaching, anything that was really, really valuable to you?
Sorry, gonna have to edit this bit out, but what am I allowed to talk about like the platforms that you have? I don't know if they're like
Yes,
secret that
of
you have
course.
them
No,
or
no, 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 nothing is secret. You can
okay.
about
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, as I said, I really enjoy that you kind of look at things from like the bigger picture and someone's entire life, not just who they are for that couple of hours a week when they're in the gym. And I really um I find it really amazing or not. You look at things from a very like non-judgmental space, and I think that really helps clients like myself who've really struggled with food or really struggled with their confidence or really struggled kind of being in the gym and like showing up for themselves, that
Mm,
you're so supportive with that. And that I couldn't honestly ask for anything else because I know I've had PTs before and they've not been like that. And it's just vastly different. And I think what makes us working together so useful in like the real world when life is happening and you're busy and you're working and whatever is that you have these kind of platforms and systems. And you know, we have our Notion app, we have the education videos that you send, we have accountability groups and things like this, which are all kind of tools to help you stay consistent and on track, even when life is really busy and intense, because that's what happens, right? It's I think historically I would have always dropped off of doing something because like life's a bit hard.
mm,
And I think through working with you and knowing that it's like non-judgmental and it's really supportive. I've never felt more supported actually in my whole life. But um that's to me is what makes your type of coaching like better, obviously. Just like I really enjoy it and I've really found it useful and I'm very grateful. So thank you.
mm. Thank you for saying that. But yeah, I think it also gives you a bit different perspective when you start connecting mind with body and how it relates to
Mm,
everyday aspects. For example, I think that the motivation is just greater if someone gives you this perspective because you already know that. But like if someone is encouraging to look at the exercise and movement in a different way, and to see it as a tool to release stress, for example, or see it how it can help you in any other aspects, then you just have motivation to stay on this journey for longer. I think that's also helped me. And that's what I want to share with all my clients as well, like just this approach and perspective on movement, not as a tool to just get shredded, but also as a tool to just like reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your body. And yeah, that's kind
For
of,
sure.
you described it really nicely. Okay, maybe one last question, because you also already described everything perfectly, but one last question, maybe, would you recommend this coaching program to anyone who suffers with similar challenges that you suffered before? And if you would, maybe just why, very quickly.
Absolutely. I would recommend you to literally everyone. I recommend you to everyone when you're not around. So that's great. um, but yeah, I think in terms of this particular set of challenges, I would say because obviously you're a complete specialist in like back rehabilitation and backs in general, obviously, from your physio background. I think that is quite unique, and that if you're in a lot of pain, I think you're looking for a solution, and sometimes you're quite desperate and you want a quick solution.
Mm.
And what I've learned with you is that a quick solution doesn't really exist. However, there are small things that you can do that to help alleviate your pain or to help you feel better in that moment. And I think I wouldn't have got that just from like a regular PT at the gym kind of thing. So I think this absolute specialism aspect of it is what makes it so valuable and useful, and that you're not going to then do something that's ultimately going to make it worse or hurt yourself
Mm.
even worse.
Mm.
And I think that that provides in itself like a safety net to how we work together, and to build confidence, like to build trust in each other and to build confidence in then doing different things. Like I know when I first came to you, we were just all of our sessions were in the studio. I could barely do anything like body weight. I could barely even do like a cat cow or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and we've like built like a solid foundation of understanding how how my muscles work and how the mechanisms work and how mentally it's linked. And now I can do free weights, for instance, which is I
Mm.
would never even dream that that was like a possibility for me when I first came to you and I was in so much like pain.
Mm.
So yeah, I would absolutely recommend you, and not just for people that have long-term injuries, although that in itself is like a big deal.
Mm.
Um, just for anyone that's like, I don't know, I wouldn't consider myself like a normal PT client for some reason. I don't know why. I think I've got lots of things to tick, like I have chronic pain and I am overweight and all of this stuff. Um, but you, because you're so, yeah, like non-judgmental and supportive, that's really what's made a difference for me in terms of how I help myself and how you've helped me address all of these things quite slowly, which I don't know if I'm answering the question at this point, but I would recommend you, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. It's good to also understand like why you recommend me, and addressing the root cause, not just symptoms, is definitely one thing that I'm
Mm.
focusing on, and I'm glad that you brought that up.
Definitely a better way of saying it for sure.
No, but you said it perfectly. Like coming from your own
Mm.
experience, you experienced that on your own case. You went through a lot of passive treatments and a lot of things that didn't work, and it took us a while to actually get pain free. But touching the wood, now you at least have a good understanding, awareness, everything to combat with this pain, even if it comes back at any point, right? And I think that's super
Mhm.
valuable as well, to not just do some things that someone said because you have to do, but also understand why you have to do them. um, but yeah, Kat,
For
thank you
sure.
so much. Thank you so much for the sharing that with me. I think that, yeah, you were really one of those clients who I would like get motivated just by working with you, because I could see, you know, your progression like from the first step to today. So yeah, it was really also inspirational journey for me, and yeah, I can't wait to continue working with you.
Oh, likewise. Thank you.
If you're gonna have anything, Kat, until